All right, soulmates, Colin Kaepernick's new 3-part docuseries, Killing County, premieres on Hulu on February 3rd.
The series tells the story of corruption and a cover-up in a California police department after the shooting of Jorge Ramirez Jr. Ramirez was shot and killed by Bakersfield police back in 2013 while working as an informant, but no officers were charged. The series is executive produced by Kaepernick and is narrated by actor Andre Holland and explores the fight for justice by Ramirez's family and other families in that area.
WNBA star Brittany Griner is set to return to the league after being detained in Russia for over 10 months, but her security risk may affect league policies. Griner is unable to fly on commercial flights, a league-wide requirement, and may require special accommodations. Seattle Storm star Breanna Stewart has offered to contribute her resources to help subsidize charter travel for the entire league. Greiner was arrested in Russia in February 2022 for possession of hash oil and pleaded guilty, facing 9 years in prison before her release.
If she wants to return to the league and she needs, some special stuff, make sure that girl gets it. Like, come on, if she was a male NBA star,
yeah.
I'm sure there would be no doubt or no question in accommodating, whatever that athlete would need to get from, point A to point B and to remain competitive. It appears as though she's been obviously deemed to come on back and she wants to get back on the court. Get her what she needs. And I don't even think the sacrifice from the teammate should have to be, something that's put out there.
I think you're right, and I think if the WNBA can't do it, surely the NBA, can pitch, and that's the very least folks could do, given what Brittany Griner has been through. Just saw Steph Curry invoke Brittany Griner at the White House when they, were recognized for being the champions that they are, the Golden State Warriors. It's easy to celebrate Brittany Griner and to wish her well and to publicly recognize her. The hard part is making sure she feels supported as she transitions back to being at home and back to being in the league. And so I hope that if the WNBA can't do it, I hope the NBA steps up and supports our sister Brittany Griner, who's been through a lot.
And here to Kaepernick, right? We're going on what I want at least 5, 6, 7 years since his knee and that whole situation, and yet he has still continued to carry this mantle with putting these stories out here that support what I do believe will be his legacy. A great football player, quarterback. His skills have been needed, yet he's still been looked over and really shunned, if you will, blackballed, if you will. Yet he just continues to move forward with the message about injustice and getting justice, and I'm just applauding him in this moment. And he, again, it's this Hulu thing. I got to figure out how I'm going to watch that one too. That appears to be a must see as well.
Yeah, his legacy looms large, and so on Super Bowl Sunday when we watch Shirley Ralph sing the Black National Anthem, how can we not think of the sacrifice of not just Colin Kaepernick, but so many folks inside and outside the NFL that have been, prodding them to do better by our athletes and our coaches.
Well said. Speaking of legacy, the legacy of Kobe Bryant continues to thrive in the footwear world. Nike announces the return of Kobe Bryant's popular shoe, the Nike Kobe 8 Protro. Set to hit the market in a fresh triple white colorway this fall. Now, the late basketball star's widow, Vanessa Bryant, there it is, has re-signed with Nike to continue her husband's signature sneaker line. In addition to the Kobe 8, the Nike Kobe 4 Protro will also be released in new colorways, including white, black metallic, gold, and bright emerald. It's all going to happen this spring. Now, Bryant's first sportswear company, Adidas, will also release a new purple colorway for the classic Crazy One shoe.
All right, soulmates, former NBA champion Matt Barnes was involved in an altercation at Levi Stadium on Sunday during the Cowboys versus 49ers game. Now, a video shows Barnes spitting on his fiance's ex-husband, David Patterson Jr. During a heated altercation, Barnes claims that Patterson Jr. was the aggressor and had threatened and shoved him. Barnes filed an application for a temporary civil restraining order, alleging that Patterson Jr. had been terrorizing him for months and even threatened to shoot him with a gun. The police were called to the scene to investigate an allegation of battery, and the investigation remains ongoing. Barnes requested for the court to restrict Patterson Jr. from coming within 100 yards of him. And you know, whenever you see any adult behaving badly, especially folks that have a tendency to be role models for the youngsters, you know, you've got to stop and say, wait a minute, what's going on? I think we can do better. And even though there's more to this story, you know, I'm not sure if anybody, you know, would be proud of a video of them spitting on another human being going viral.
Yeah, you know, I like Matt Barnes. He, you know, he kind of, you know, goes back and forth. You know, the good angel, the bad angel. You know, he has said some things that have really registered with me, whether it's, you know, something controversial as far as a player. He's been a very strong supporter of legalizing cannabis and that argument, and he's made some great arguments. He's been a part of a lot of podcasts and round tables. So, you know, he's got some good sense, you know, in my opinion. And, you know, maybe this was just a moment where, you know, he didn't use good judgment. And I like how you say we don't have the full story, but that act in and of itself is inexcusable and unacceptable. And I hope that, you know, he can make good on that situation, because with all of them, there's children involved. And you also want to be a good example for your children. So yeah, I hope they can rectify that situation.
Hope so.
Yeah, rapper Jim Jones announced on Instagram that he is planning to improve conditions in his hometown of Harlem, New York, with Mayor Eric Adams. The two met for the first time January 21st at a live performance by Drake, where Jones invited the mayor to discuss Harlem's issues. Jones stated that this is his first time meeting a New York City mayor and expressed pride in having a black mayor in a position of power to help turn the city around. Jones emphasized that while he is one person, it will take a collective effort to improve Harlem.
Victor George Spirits, also known as VSG, announced a partnership with the 5-time Grammy Award winner and actor CeeLo Green. The partnership includes VGS's nationally distributed vodka and bourbon, both produced at Palm Beach Distillery. CeeLo and VGS's owners first met in 2020 at a Super Bowl party in Miami. VGS launched in 2019 and is one of the fastest growing black-owned spirit companies in the U.S. with a multi-state distribution deal and its product available in 44 states. Now, in November 2021, VGS's owners were awarded $2.45 million to build Fort Lauderdale's first black-owned distillery, set to break ground in February 2023, just in time for Black History Month.
All right, so they're doing the clear and the brown, huh? The vodka and the bourbon.
Yeah.
Everybody's jumping on this distillery, you know, bandwagon.
Yeah.
You know, sooner or later, it's gonna have the best is gonna probably, you know, more than likely rise to the top, you know, because that takes a lot of time and science and experience to put a mash together that people will really, you know, dig. But I like the fact that there's so much variety when it comes to, you know, us getting into the game. We were talking just earlier this week that it's not an easy game to get into. So the more the merrier. I just want the quality.
Yeah.
To be able to hang with some of the big boys who've been around for years on top of years.
Yeah, and I think just having the opportunity to compete makes a big difference. And we're seeing a lot of quality wine and spirits brands. I mean, think about it. Just over the course of the past 5 to 10 years, there's so many more, you know, black-owned wine and spirit brands for us to choose from. We talk a lot about Uncle Nearest, and now
Snoop,
we have Victor George Spirits
CeeLo.
to add to the list. I mean, you know, this almost feels like a renaissance for us, particularly in the wine and spirits industry. And what's happening is we're also building Black wealth. And when you're building Black wealth, they're also addressing the racial wealth gap. And so we love to see it.
We love to see it.
We love to see that, and we love to see Black excellence. That's why it's still ahead. Black excellence, it heads to the classroom.
Yeah, we'll introduce you to the teacher who is taking on a new mission of helping her students with hair care. We'll be right back. You're watching Fox Soul's Black Report.